Welcome to this explainer, everyone. Okay, let's dive into this. Did you know most native speakers actually completely fail at the structure we're covering today? We're undertaking a real masterclass here. We're going to learn exactly how to navigate some incredibly dense grammatical structures. This is absolutely essential, by the way, for achieving true mastery of English. We're talking about multi-clause embedding. It's literally the dividing line between advanced speakers and true linguistic experts.
Listen closely to this extremely dense, high-stakes corporate sentence. The proposal that the committee, which was appointed last year, to evaluate whether the regulations should be amended, review the decision was ultimately rejected. Wow, right? That is a heavily loaded, high-impact sentence. This level of extreme subordination can honestly feel completely overwhelming. Just imagine an entire merger collapsing all because of misunderstood syntax. But this is exactly why this explainer is so crucial for you. You absolutely need to master this skill to comprehend complex academic and legal texts.
So let's clearly define what we're dealing with. Multi-clause embedding is a highly specific syntactic process. It involves nesting noun, relative, and adverbial clauses deeply within one another, kind of like branches on a tree. This builds incredibly dense, highly specific information structures. And according to Quirk's comprehensive grammar of the English language, this requires strict management of your clause boundaries. Mastering this complex nesting is, without a doubt, a defining hallmark of C2 level proficiency.
So the crucial point is how we anchor this. We use what linguists call the matrix clause. Think of it as the foundational block of your entire sentence. The core subject and the main verb must maintain strict, perfect grammatical agreement. This rule remains completely unbroken, regardless of the immense syntactic weight of the nested clauses stacked inside it. The matrix clause acts as the solid foundation that firmly holds the whole shebang together. Without this foundational block, the sentence completely shatters.
Let's look at our first academic word example. This pattern is super common in university research. The report that the analyst who was appointed to evaluate the data submitted was exhaustive. Paid close attention to how this is layered. We have a relative clause nested seamlessly right inside another descriptive relative clause. Yet it never breaks the overarching matrix agreement. The core structure remains simply, the report was exhaustive. Everything else inside is brilliantly nested context. It just resolves itself with perfect elegance. Let's move to a high-pressure corporate context now. The decision to delay the project, which depends on whether the board approves the new budget, remains controversial. And this brilliantly illustrates complex conceptual nesting. Look closely at that embedded noun clause. The phrase "whether the board approves the new budget" lives entirely inside the larger relative clause. You can almost feel the boardroom tension resting on that specific clause. The main verb "remains" waits patiently at the end to connect with its distant subject, the decision. It creates incredible suspense within a single sentence.
Now, this advanced grammar isn't just for writing. It actually pops up in sophisticated spoken contexts too. That she had arrived, despite the storm that grounded most flights, was immediately clear to everyone. The weather might be completely chaotic, but the grammar absolutely isn't. Here, a complete noun clause functions as the main subject of the sentence. The phrase "that she had arrived" acts as the subject. It carries a nested adverbial and relative clause directly within its central spoken structure. The spoken syntax remains perfectly balanced throughout.
Right. Now we must diagnose a classic C2 learner error. Listen to this grammatically broken structural fragment. The proposal that the committee, which met yesterday to discuss the policy. Like a collapsing archway, the writer has totally lost the main verb. The sentence just abruptly stops, without any resolution. Now compare this to the syntactically complete version. The proposal that the committee, which met yesterday, submit a report, was approved. See the difference? Always ensure you have a structurally complete matrix clause to keep your entire sentence from collapsing.
We also really need to develop sharp register awareness. When exactly should you confidently deploy this extreme embedding? Well, you want to use it for maximum impact. It's totally appropriate for formal legal contracts, comprehensive academic arguments, and very precise institutional policies. But carefully beware of the opposite effect, cognitive overload. When structures become intentionally dense and obfuscating, you risk losing your reader's attention entirely. You must constantly balance grammatical complexity with ultimate reading clarity. Never sacrifice your reader's understanding just to sound smart, okay?
Let's quickly summarize our core structural rule today. Always anchor your nested clauses to a complete matrix verb. Keep this short, highly memorable example in your mind. It is imperative that the rule, however complex, be applied. If you are a highly motivated learner, your immediate next step is ready and waiting. Please proceed directly to the Module M07 interactive quiz. It features 8 randomized questions to truly test your mastery. Go put your new structural knowledge to the test. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer today. Remember, mastering complex syntax isn't just about passing grammar tests. It's really about commanding respect in elite professional environments. So I leave you with this final provocative thought. How does mastering this kind of immense syntactic weight directly translate to projecting absolute intellectual authority in the English language? Well, the answer lies in how you choose to structure your very next paragraph.